Hello fellow makers and welcome back to 3D Printed Soup and part 3 of my second edition Warhammer Necron Army 3D print. And we have done well so far. We have got Necron Raiders, we got Necron Scarabs, and we got Necron Destroyers. And the guy who created the Chilcron file got in touch with me. It was a joke and yeah, he made it for funds. And yeah, we've had a chat and yeah, the guy's lovely. And he directed me to some fantastic other 3D printed Necron stuff. So yep, his details are here. Check him out. The problem this week is I want to print a Necron Lord, but nobody seems to have created a Necron Lord STL file. Now I could try and create one myself, but my Blender skills are okay, but I am not a sculptor. So if I did create one, it would look fairly generic and it wouldn't be particularly detailed. But then I thought, hey, I've used AI before. Now, I don't like AI stealing other people's art, and I don't like AI stealing other people's careers, basically. But I have found an online AI tool that lets you take a 2D file and it extrapolates a 3D file from it. So not really stealing anyone's work, just purely taking a picture of the original figure and making a 3D render out of it. Now, that could actually turn out awfully or it could turn out great. A lot of the stuff that I've done in the past with 3D trying to make up files from photos, it comes out looking like it's made out of plasticine and just it gets a basic shape and that's about it. But there have been extremely large steps in AI photo extrapolation, so I thought, you know what, let's give it a try again. So I'm going to jump on the internet and make myself a Necron Lord from nothing but the picture of the original. How bad could that go? Before we do, however, thanks to everyone who's liked and subscribed. Thousands of you again, almost up to 4,000. If you haven't subscribed, now's a great time. Take your cursor, drag it down, click the subscribe button, and welcome to the AI extrapolated channel, which is 3D printed soup. It might turn out alright, or you might just end up looking like plasticine. So let's get on and 3D print ourselves an AI extrapolated Necron Overlord. Let's give this a try. So after some digging around and a few false starts, I finally found Deep AI. You just load in a picture like this one of the Necron Lord that I found online. Click generate, and what it will do is it will extrapolate a 3D image from the picture you put in. I'm not totally sure where it gets all the details from, but I'm sure it's somewhere safe and nice and nothing that I have to worry about at all. But yeah, I've got this picture here. It will basically load up and it will make me a 3D image of what it thinks this should look like from behind, from the top, from the below. Basically what it thinks a 3D version of this flat 2D picture should look like. And after several minutes of waiting, it loads this up. And yeah, I mean, it is the general file. I mean, the staff's a bit bent and there isn't a head, but the actual body and shape and style of it isn't too bad. I'm going to download this and I'm going to try running it through again with a different picture. Let's try this one. And we get this one. Now that looks a lot better. The cloak is a lot less chunky. The staff is straight. It's got kind of a face. I think I'm going to cut the head off another Necron and we will then use that when we stuck it on the front. But other than that, I think this one is perfectly usable. So I've downloaded that. Next thing to do is pop it into another online AI bot I found, which will automatically close all the holes in it and make it into a fully printable file. And this is an online tool I found called FormWave. Basically, you drop your AI generated file in here. It has a bit of a think about it, and then it will run a few tests. Here we go. There we go. And it will fill in all the holes and make sure the file is perfectly safe for 3D printing and it's not going to have any weird floating things or holes or odd sectors or anything else like that. Just turns it into a much more usable file without you having to monkey around with anything. And with that done, I then jump into Mesh Inspector, which is a fantastic online tool which basically will fix any problems you've got with your meshes on your 3D file. So just open it up. Here we go. This is a different file to the one I ended up using, but I'm using the footage of this because it's exactly the same and I didn't record footage of the second one I used. Sorry. But yep, you just go in here. Choose what you want to do. In this case, I want to basically repair it, make sure there's no holes or details. It points out all the errors on here. You just click repair and it'll have a think about it, and then it will run the repair and fill in anything that shouldn't be there, like here. And once that's done, your mesh will be fully repaired. You can then slice it and then you can 3D print it. And with that done, we can have a look at the model. And there we are. It's got rid of any floating parts or other parts. You'll notice it looks quite fat and chunky. That's why I didn't use this model in the end. But it's just a good demonstration of how you can use online AI tools to basically fix stuff without having to do it yourself and spend a long time doing it, because quite frankly, I don't have the time to waste on this particular model. I have got far too much else to do. I didn't actually end up using this model, as I say. I used a different model. But this is the idea. So we have gone in. We have auto-generated one using AI from a 2D image. Run it through a repair to make sure that everything is ready to print and is safe. And then through a mesh editor, which basically automatically picks up any holes in the mesh or any problems and fixes it for you. This is the laziest guide to basically creating an AI-generated and then AI-repaired model I could possibly do. But hey, it's interesting to try out these tools. And with that done, I'm going to jump into printing it. Not this particular file, but I will print another file on here, which I did earlier. It looks a lot better than this one, trust me. And with that done, I have 3D printed this. I haven't done any footage of me 3D printing it because resin 3D printing is boring as hell. It's nowhere near as interesting as FDM 3D printing. So I have printed this. I'm just going to remove it from the build plate. And with that done, I can then get this figure cured and painted. We'll see what it looks like. Right, let's pop him under a UV light. There we go. And we'll leave him for a little bit of time, and once that is fully completed and cured, we'll be able to give him a paint. And here he is. I am going to remove that weird third leg that's coming down from his cloak. I just cut that out with a razor saw. Put a new head on, which I think I'm going to cut off from another Necron. And yeah, then he will be done. He's not looking bad, actually. Not bad at all. And now it's time to paint this guy. So I am going to do a nice undercoat here. Just get it all over him, get all the cracks and details, and fill anything which is a little bit wonky. And once we have got that done, we can then add colour and we can paint some details on, which I think is really going to bring him out. So at the moment he's a bit, I'm not sure, but I think with a careful application of paint, we can make him look quite good. I mean, I say good for a AI-generated model that came from a 2D image from 1993. But yeah, he's got the right stance, he's the right scale, the right size, and this is just a fun little project, and I'm really quite enjoying this. I've got no idea what it's going to turn out like, but we'll have a look. Right, that's enough of this. On to the colour. After adding a base coat of silver and putting some golds on there, I realised that, yeah, he really doesn't have a face. So I've got an old Necron I had kicking around, cut its head off, cut the back of its head off, and I'm going to glue the face to where his face should be. So hopefully we can have a good looking Necron. Bit of super glue there, pop him on, line it up and see what that looks like. A bit more glue because that wouldn't stick on. I'm just using regular Loctite here, so easy peasy. You just put a dob on, give it a few seconds to sort of gellify, then you can put the face on, adjust it, and about 30 seconds later that's stuck into place. Just change that slightly, get that in the right way. Butterfingers here, and there he has got a proper Necron face now. One thing that AI isn't good at is number of fingers and faces. it just doesn't seem to do well with those. But yeah, and that turned out quite well. He has got the correct posture, the correct position, the correct weapon, and now he's got a face. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. And with that, this AI created abomination is done. It has the usual, looks like it's made out of plasticine, which you get with most AI generated stuff, but I say the pose is right, the general side of it is right. It's just basically it does come out lumpy and bumpy, but I was going to say it ain't too bad. And luckily, I've actually found a really good one of mine that someone else has done, which I'm going to do next week. Well, that was interesting. Some of the sites didn't do a particularly good job, but yeah, the one we eventually used actually came out quite nicely. I mean, he's not going to win any awards for 3D sculpting, but the arms and legs are in the right place, the pose is in the right place, the staff is just about straight, the face is there, and yeah, his cloak's okay. I mean, he looks a little chunky, but quite frankly, for an AI looking at a 2D photograph of a model from 1994, this has turned out beautifully, and I'm very, very impressed by it. Now, I wouldn't suggest basically using AI to basically do stuff like this for your entire army, but if you're missing one particular figure and you've got a picture of it, there's worse ways you could go. Yeah, I'm very, very excited by that. If you want to give it a try, links in the description to the site I used. Let me know how it goes. What do you think? Is AI going to destroy everything, or is it actually a useful tool when you're not using it to steal stuff from other people? Next week, we're going to put the whole army together and we are going to see what it looks like on the table and maybe even play a game. So, thanks for watching 3D Printed Soup. Stay happy, stay safe, keep extrapolating.